What is up, you guys? Hope everybody's having a lovely day. We just started stream just early, so bear with me. So, a lot has happened with Nova Online. He has been cooked. He's really cooked, actually. The famous Predcatcher known as Gideon has opened an investigation on Nova Online as of recently. So we have some great news. The FBI is uh the police department has already issued investigations against Noah Online. So you don't know who Noah Online is? There's a lot to say about him. He is a TikToker who uh eats mukbangs. If you don't know what mukbangs or mukbangs are, I don't even know. It's basically you just look at you post videos of yourself eating different types of foods. So this is what Nova Online is doing, right? Um, what That's what his content is about. Plus, there was a lot of allegations towards him. Saying there were some people telling me and telling uh everybody else that I know he has been, diddling with people that are not around his age range. If I Because I don't want to get demonetized by YouTube. But anyways, yeah. So that is the allegations towards him, and there was also another allegation of animal abuse. So we're gonna get right to that here in a little bit. I just want to just talk about like a brief summary as to who Nova Online is and what he is like all about. So, so let's get into lore and stuff, and as I talk about the psychology of Nova on in his head and all that stuff, and give you some implications of what I can gather on some of the information that has been brought in here today. So I hope everybody's having a lovely Monday. I know it's the end of the weekend. You're already struggling with work. I understand that. Kids are out, out of school, just having the best time, living in summertime. So with that being said, let's get into, or should I say, dive into the dumpster fire known as Nova Online. So right now we're going to um, click a video from Turkey Tom. Shout out to Turkey Tom. So let's get into it.
In the world of big business, there's an idea known as golden handcuffs. Companies will give their high-value employees lavish incentives to make sure they don't leave. Stock options, equity, bonuses, all ways to chain talent to one specific corporation. But what if instead of working at any high-value company, your job was making TikToks? And instead of vacations to Bermuda and a new Benz, the thing making you stay was millions of people watching you destroy your life on a daily basis.
This person likes to wear diapers and soil them.
Trying Wingstop for the first time. These are actually pretty decent.
But this TikToker is hiding a dark secret.
And the relaunch of the Discord server is coming soon.
It's 18 plus.
The server guy.
I swear to God, this guy looks like a villain from like Teen Titans Go, or he looks like a super villain, of course.
No!
Nova Online is a man who has been repeatedly exposed for his inappropriate interactions with underage individuals, and yet continues to document every step of his life online. From his hoarding, to his wall where he smears bodily fluids, his food reviews, and his most recent dive into creating adult content, he's a busy guy.
I'm never making another Discord server again.
He did in fact keep using Discord, and it went about as well as you can imagine. A total disaster. It's clear that at this point, Gabriel yearns for the attention no matter what form it comes in, chains from which he will never free himself. We've got a lot to talk about.
So I know nothing's been bad.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to let you know I have gotten tons of comments and DMs asking about literally way
I swear to God, like this guy, this is what this whole world is coming to. Like they make profits out of like online and social media, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like I get it, like, but like the way he's doing it, he's taking it in a whole nother level of degenerosity.
Now you guys need to stop being.
Finally, I can post real videos to my new LG Stylophone.
Nova began his
Oh my
content
God.
creation journey on YouTube, posting Let's Plays of games like Minecraft, Brawlhalla, and Fortnite.
What's up, guys? Magic.
I used to do that when I was younger. Like I actually did that too, so I can't make fun of it that much. So yeah.
Wizard with the 5th video I have recorded so far today.
As dedicated as he was, this channel
I
was
know.
lost in the sea of other Let's Players trying to do the same thing. So he switched platforms from YouTube to TikTok, and swapped his format from video games to fast food.
Trying Wingstop for the first time. Cajun seasoned fries. Okay. Mildly spicy, but nothing that I can't bear. These are actually pretty decent. 8 out of 10.
This video got millions of views,
I don't
changing
see
Nova's life
how.
forever. An ironic fan base formed around him, eager to see what he would review next.
Trying Ultra Sunrise Monster Energy, and if you're wondering why I'm not at home, I'm at my church for Bible camp.
Unfortunately for him, within a matter of just a few months, he was exposed for having an interest in diapers.
Kind of reminds me of somebody that also wears diapers and also has a fetish. Andrew Ditch.
This is obviously pretty strange, but in and of itself, it's not technically a crime. What might be is him sharing these strange interests with who he believed to be a 14-year-old girl.
What?
How I wonder where you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky.
Following this incident, he was subject to being incessantly exposed for his strange behavior, and chronically bothered by trolls, to the point where his life became a bizarro version of The Truman Show.
I don't know if you can tell, but I've lost my motivation to shower and
I find comfort in.
Wait. Pause. Did he just say that he lost the will to take a shower? Yo, no. Oh no. Like I mean there are some times where I get lazy like that, but like I have never in I kid you not, I have never in my entire life ever think or thought that gives me the conclusion of me not feeling like or losing like the ability to take shower. That is insane and also disgusting, bro. Disgusting.
His house is essentially a hoarder's nightmare. He documented
God.
himself attempting to clean it, before promptly giving up when he realized it would take at least a little bit of effort.
Y'all know me as the food review guy, the karaoke guy, the guy that tried to do a house cleaning saga.
Bruh, what? Oh my God. Let me look at that again. Oh, fuck. No, go the fuck away. I'm sorry. I need to look that up again. I need to see it
Also
again.
continued doing fast
My
food
mind
reviews,
just
only to
totally
reveal the
blanked.
effects of a pure slop diet on his bowel movements.
Hey y'all, so I think I'm gonna go stop going to the Wendy's that I normally go to.
After a series of failed Discord servers, he attempted to create
Oh, sorry.
a new one in May of 2025, trying to
I
bring his
remember
fan base
that,
together
actually.
at long last. This server featured several channels containing not safe for work content, but Nova
Yeah.
and his mod team failed to have a proper age verification system in place.
Bruh, that is unacceptable. How can you, I mean, I'm dead serious. How can you forget that part? That is just crazy and also unacceptable.
Reportedly allowing minors to be exposed to some bad stuff.
The server rules clearly state you have to be above 18, but you gave a child moderator for singing.
That's actually what happened from what I've heard from other people. He did put minors as moderating. as monitor and shit for singing and voice chat is crazy.
In voice chat.
He also used this server to beg his fans for money, despite spending hundreds of dollars a month on useless trinkets and expensive DoorDash orders. And of
Oh
course,
my
he made sure to
God.
share with everyone that his diaper was, in fact, full once again.
Oh my God. Oh God. Oh, the cringe. The fucking. Oh God. Why? Why? Why would he? Oh my God.
Oh my god.
Within a few hours, the entire server was hacked. Nova was on livestream when it initially went down, having a total meltdown over the loss of his Discord kitten community.
The server got nuked! The server! No! Say something, I'm giving up
On
And
you.
there goes the server. Seriously?
But then, something
Okay, let me just look look at his freaking room. I mean, I know my room is disgusting, but not as disgusting as like, hold on. Ew! What is that? Okay.
was the actual moment that he found out about the server being destroyed. He then made a TikTok about it.
Ew. 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 Look at his greasy hair. That is nasty.
I'm never making another Discord server again. This is the motherfucking fourth.
To be clear, it's not weird that he made a TikTok. That is what he does. What is weird is that to
Look at those big ass cheeks and that double chin of his, man.
me, this seems like acting. We know his real meltdown happened on the stream, but for it to happen again and to be so perfectly timed, he knew what he was doing. These meltdowns get him clicks online where people comment to make fun of him, boosting it in the algorithm. And to his credit, it worked. The video got 15 million views, and once again made him the subject of commentary channels that hate him. Nova had officially achieved self-awareness of his status as an internet punching bag, even playing into it as his only means of any online relevance. This is where I last left off with him, trying to
Huh? What does that say? Bro, I woke up wet in the middle of the night? Are you freaking kidding me right now?
recapture whatever semblance of relevance he once had by
Why
recreating his
did y'all
hits.
freaking
Can I get a fried
suggest
chicken
me
soup,
this?
please? I think it's time to recreate
Guys, why did y'all suggest me to react to this? This is disgusting.
one of my most viral moments. Can I get a French onion soup, please?
So what's happened since then? Well, to say the least, his past has once again come back to haunt him. First, one of his former classmates named Casey came forward to share her experience with Nova dating all the way back to middle school. Over a 4-minute video on TikTok, she explains that he was a choir kid, but he wasn't accepted into the school's choir, so he made his own. What that apparently meant in practice was that he invited a bunch of girls over and
Okay, that's not sus at all. Like, really, that's not sus.
told them that one of the requirements for his choir was for them to be comfortable with using exercise machines for music videos. I genuinely can't think of any
I highly doubt that he was just using those girls for music videos. It's something completely different.
reasonable explanation for this requirement, so I think we have to assume that Nova's gooning goes all the way back to then. The girl in the video eventually found herself in the situation
Actually, come to think of it, I did have like a creepy dude in my high school that I and many other girls did not want to freaking team up with him or do any group activity with him because he was known to touch uh girls' butts, and I didn't like that at all.
of having to perform a couple of songs alongside Nova, but she decided she would rather
Funny enough, he looks exactly like the guy that went to high school with me. It's
They're
nasty.
not show up at all, which made him very upset, at least according to her. Later on, Casey claims that Nova asked multiple girls to go up to the front of the class, and once they did what he asked, he performed Love Me Like You Do by Ellie Goulding while giving the girls a Magic Mike style lap dance. Ladies and
Ew.
gentlemen, it is official. Quirked up white boys are no longer allowed to bust it down sexual style. Any hitting of the yoinky schwanky will be met with severe unforeseen consequences.
He's got a point. And also, what the fuck?
That song is still fire, though. You can't even deny it. Of course, when she noticed the direction things were heading, the teacher stepped in and intervened, preventing Nova from permanently traumatizing a group of middle school girls.
What? What? I mean, I'm glad the teacher stopped him from doing that, but like, middle schoolers? Really? Come on, bro.
Besides this incident, Casey claims that pretty much every single girl that went to school with him was equally uncomfortable around him due to
Shit, I'd be uncomfortable with him too. This guy is a fucking freak. He's a freaky frog.
how touchy he was. And she closes the video off by sharing a video of one of their choir performances. As you can see here, Nova is the one in the red shirt, and his unique physique is pretty recognizable despite him being much younger. Now, as much as I'm sure everyone is tempted to believe every aspect of this story, there are a few things to note. Firstly, this story supposedly takes place in middle school, so
He looks like a girl. Am I not wrong? He looks and sounds like a girl. Like, I can't even tell if he's a man or not. But yeah, definitely sounds like a girl. Looks like a girl. Has a hair like a girl, bro.
I wouldn't take it too seriously, to be honest. And secondly, we don't know how truthful Casey is being. I'm not accusing her of lying, I'm just saying, remember to take everything that isn't confirmed in these stories with a big grain of salt. Besides this former classmate of
Right.
his, there was also a former friend of Nova's who was in contact with him since mid-2023, who was interviewed by two of Nova's main detractors named Solidus
Hey, Bloodspeth.
Nova and Bloodspeth. In this interview, she describes reaching
Which we are going to, react to his video here in a little bit.
out to him out of pity. She saw how much hate he was getting on TikTok and was hoping that by striking up a friendship, she could ease his sorrows. But over time, she came to the realization that he wasn't just hated
What kind of microphone is that? That looks like shit. And look here in the background. You can see that there's like a Japanese like uniform hanging onto his freaking door. You can see that. That's
for being
okay.
cringy, but
I don't
instead
know what
for
to say about
allegations of
that.
predatory behavior. Over several screenshots of their Discord conversations, Nova can be seen talking about his general downtrodden state of mind. What's up? My brother is mad at me. Why? I just need time for myself. It isn't your fault, it's mine for being a loser. In another one of these conversations, Nova answers a simple, hey, it's been a long time, with, I'm depressed as hell right now. When
Fun fact, I actually was in that Discord, and by God, it is fucking terrifying, and I do not suggest anybody to do that anymore.
asked about what was wrong, he says everything, before stating he has been prescribed antidepressants and has had multiple self-deletion attempts. His reasoning for these feelings is that he's been, quote, backstabbed, mistreated, and played with. Now, if he's truly having these very dark feelings in a very serious manner, then that
Maybe he should get off the internet. Plain and simple. Just get off the internet.
isn't something to be played with. With that being said, based on the messages, the majority of his problems relate to his time spent online. A practical solution for someone like him would be to stop making videos and get a job. Both things that
Yeah, basically what I was suggesting, but unfortunately he won't listen.
he is technically capable of doing. But as this video will make clear, his online infamy is somewhat of an addiction for him, and he thinks that the next hit is always just around the corner. From how often he brings it up in conversations, it seems like he's using the suggestion he will take himself out as a way to garner sympathy, down to the way he trails off every sentence with a ... like he's typing out a fan fiction on Wattpad. I don't want to make light of serious mental health issues here, but the last message he sends after talking about this this is not even the Trevor Project wants to talk to me. If you're unaware, the Trevor
Yeah, what's the Trevor Project? What is that? What is that?
Project is the mental health hotline for LGBTQ people. As far as I know, he's not really LGBTQ, so I have no idea why he mentioned this hotline.
Just to get like promotion and also attention from everyone who is really LGBTQ. Um, so that's probably one of the reasons. It's just the attention.
In specific, I don't even know if you can be banned or have your phone number blacklisted by the Trevor Project, but if that is true, you gotta wonder what he did to warrant that treatment. According to this former friend of his, he only ever initiated a conversation to engage in more self-pity and complain about his life, and had basically no personality besides that and his online persona. He never ever showed signs of taking steps to improve his life. What makes all of this worse is that Nova was explaining all of this to a girl who was still technically underage when they were talking. She claims that shortly after discovering him on Twitch playing Fortnite, she was invited into a call with him and one of his friends during his stream. But as enough time passed, he eventually turned his stream off, basically making it a private call between him and this minor. Nova's friend eventually took issue with this, and this is how she recalls it going.
He invited his friend, right? He invited his friend, and then halfway through he stopped streaming. It was me, him, and his friend, and then his friend goes, "You sound kind of young. Nova, how old is she?" And he goes, "I don't know." And he goes, "How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 15." And he goes, "Whoa, Nova, she's 15." And he goes, "Damn it." He screams, "Damn it," right?
Unsurprisingly, he had
Bruh. Wow.
somewhat spurious motivations from the get-go.
I have
Although
no
he never
words.
said anything outright sexual that we know of to this girl, he did convince her to tolerate him pretending to be a baby on voice chats, and even sent a few videos of himself in baby mode and hugging some plushie, as well as showcasing his iced out binky. Although their conversations never went beyond talking about hugging, I'd say that this could have escalated to something much worse given Nova's reputation. To me, this reads as Nova wanting to talk to someone under the guises of having mental health issues, only to then turn the conversation towards his strange interest shortly thereafter. His real motivation in all of this.
Oh my
If he was allowed to
God.
talk to people all day about diapers and whatever else, I really doubt
How can this, bruh, how can this happen? Like, he's been doing this for a very, very long time, and nothing has happened yet. Just yet. But like, wow. This is his life. By the way, this is generally his everyday life. He wakes up, um, does not shower, and posts videos.
we would hear about his depression very often. But despite these people being somewhat decent sources on how Nova truly is when the TikToks aren't being recorded, these are girls, and Nova is known for behaving quite differently
Underage girls, by the way. Underage girls.
towards girls than he does with men. We also have testimony from a former coworker of his who, despite having a pretty superficial relationship with him, managed to offer up some interesting nuggets of info. For example, this person claims that contrary to Nova's constant
Is that an Andrew Ditch? Is that an Andrew Ditch profile? That's funny.
pity party about how no place wants to hire him, at least in the case of the establishment they both used to work
Actually, the reason why he was not allowed to be, to be hired because somebody told or allegedly told his workplace that he was doing these inappropriate things towards girls online, and that's how he got fired, and he got so freaking pissed. I kid you not. He got so mad because he thought the trolls did it, and I think that's what happened. I'm not really sure.
at, Nova wasn't actually fired, but instead he voluntarily
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, he's like, yeah, you like these muscles, girl? Yeah.
resigned. Nova supposedly quit his job because, in his own words, he was making enough money from selling cameos and he lived with his mom anyway.
Actually, that's not what really happened from what I've heard.
Way, so he wasn't in need of money. Not only is Cameo gonna come up again later, but it's actually come up before as a major issue for Nova. Cameo is one of the easiest ways to capitalize on having online clout. Basically, it's a website where you pay a few dollars for a celebrity to record a short video message for you.
Wandale Dingle.
It sounds pretty easy, but Nova also managed to screw this up. When a TikToker ordered his services, Nova recorded a shoutout video where he doesn't once name the person he's shouting out. This obviously renders the Cameo completely pointless, as he could send that same exact video to literally anybody. When he deservedly got a 1-star rating, he contacted the TikToker on Discord, begging her to change her rating and even offering to record another video. Unfortunately, he never recorded that other video. It just goes to show how lazy and incompetent this guy truly is. With this much of a non-existent work ethic, there is no chance he could ever stop working and just do cameos. Another thing Nova's coworker says is that his roommate claims to have witnessed Nova wearing diapers. Only now...
What? Okay. Pause. Just imagine you came home from work, or you came from college and stuff after a long day. Imagine going to your apartment, unlocking the door, and seeing your roommate in diapers.
Have I really considered the logistics of Nova, a wet diaper enthusiast, working at fast food establishments?
Also, Loner, do you have a Discord so we can have like an interview or something? If you're up to it, that's fine.
How would you feel if a greasy-haired, unbathed, bed-bug-ridden, wet diaper-wearing Novaonline served you your food? Or
Honestly, I would immediately throw up and just die and sue the company for it. And yeah, I don't know what I was gonna say beforehand, but yeah, I would definitely die.
Or even worse, what if he was the one cooking it? He's practically
Oh God, I don't want to think about that. No!
a walking OSHA violation. I actually don't know how he gets hired in the first place. Unfortunately, the coworker didn't have much to offer besides that, as they didn't spend much time together. But that to me is also notable, because when girls give testimony of their experiences with Nova, they always report him trying to get as close to them as possible. But when it's just a dude, it's like he makes no effort whatsoever to try and establish any kind of relationship. While the information these two brought forward is pretty interesting, it totally pales in comparison to other developments that took place after my last video about Nova, also relating to his past. Although it hasn't been something I focused on, one of the most notable incidents during Nova's online presence is the Uncle Drew meltdown. For context,
What's the Uncle Drew meltdown? Can somebody explain me that? Like, I'm trying to like process everything that is like I'm trying to process everything.
In March 2023, during one of Nova's gaming streams, this randomly took place.
Okay.
God
damn it! Hold on. Let me see that again one more time. I need to see that one more time. Can we Oh my God, hang on. I need to see that one more time, please. I need to see that. Hold on.
Is pretty interesting. It totally pales in comparison to other developments that took place after.
Okay.
damn it! Cocksucker! Throw it! Days! Feel my uncle and enough.
Oh my God.
Don't put up with any more of this. I'm done.
To the people watching at the time, it was
Oh my God. No freaking way. He sounds like an angry fat chihuahua going.
It was really hard to make out what Nova was even trying to convey, and when he came back, he stayed mostly quiet and turned his face cam off, until he half-heartedly explained what caused the meltdown.
If you've seen the Discord, He'll know what happened with me and my uncle again. We got into another argument. It was for a bullshit reason too. I forgot plans that we had made for Friday and I had scheduled something else. And then he got angry at me because I forgot.
With online trolls, no matter how aggressive and disruptive they could be, Nova for the most part would just respond by becoming despondent and feigning depression. Uncle Drew, on the other hand, was the one person that made him completely drop the act and go nuts.
And I'm not gonna put up with any more of this. I'm done. I'm done.
It's the unk factor that no one takes into account.
Advise with Uncle. Fuck off.
Eventually, Bloodspeth managed to contact him and get some information directly from Uncle Drew. Nova was sheltered, only child, growing up afraid of everything. The relationship between us was good. I'm the only one to spend time with him, learning how to fish, work on cars. Grandma got him gardening. His mother and father got him into the computer as a way to babysit him so they didn't have to. If you take away his internet access, he has classic withdrawal fits, screaming.
Just like a freaking child, like a little kid, he goes into withdrawal. Am I hearing this correctly? Like a spoiled little brat.
Just going off like any spoiled.
Like, this is a grown man we're talking about, a grown ass man that has the capacity of a child when he doesn't get his own way, or his parents, I mean, not his parents, his mom or his uncle takes the devices away from him and screams and throws a fit like a child. That is beyond insane. How can you, as a parent, let your child be the way that he is today? Now, I know some of you in the comment section are going to be telling me, well, Kira, his father died. Kira, he never had a male, a male figure in his life besides his uncle. I do not care. Okay? You, as the mother, have the responsibility to take action. I kid you not. Some of these parents need to be looked up and they need to be investigated because honestly, I've heard that his mother doesn't do a damn thing when he is like this. All I heard was that his mom threatened him. If he doesn't get a job, he has to move out. Like, I kid you not. And every time she says that, he throws a big fat hissy fit.
Single kid. He's awkward, shy, and afraid of his own shadow. It's TikTok that told him who he can be and that he can do what he wants.
Of course, blame it on freaking TikTok. Blame it on TikTok. Blame it on everything on the TikTok when you, as the parent with the money, gave him all this access and stuff. And now he's in this little fantasy world where he thinks, oh, it's all online. I could do whatever I want. Nobody's gonna stop me. Bro, everybody's gonna freaking notice, okay? Everyone's gonna notice that.
There is no right and wrong to him, only what TikTok says, his own words. While these are interesting and definitely shine some light on the true character of Nova, according to Drew, Nova lied about what they had argued about. When he was asked about when their argument started, Uncle Drew replied saying he found out Nova had been lying to him about 2.5 years prior, but he was unwilling to say what Nova was actually lying about. There was no argument. There was him crossing a line. I put him on the spot over it, and it eventually led to me turning my back on him. It was him going on TikTok, saying false things, and acting like a pervert. That was the fun.
Unacceptable. Honestly, unacceptable behavior right there. Like, his mom should have done something, but let's continue before I go into another rant.
Final straw. He needs to be under a doctor's care because he has issues.
Exactly. He needs to be treated. He needs to go to the hospital. He needs to get treated.
Obviously, and if he's being a perv online, how long before he eventually acts on it? He's all
exactly that's the thing that scares me the most, that what, like, if he's not getting the help that he needs with his sexual perversion or whatever the hell he's got inside of his freaking brain, he's gonna hurt somebody. He's gonna hurt somebody. And I can tell you for a fact, it ain't gonna be fucking pretty.
Already been kicked out of the church and cost my sister her position because of his sexually inappropriate questions.
What? 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 See? What have I told you, ladies and gentlemen? What have I told you? Novaonline is a freaking menace to other women, other girls. Oh my God! Anything that moves, okay, he's gonna be like, oh yeah, I like little girls, like stop. Why are we like letting this happen? This should not have happened in the first place.
And his TikTok videos. Honestly, if I ever caught anyone harming a child, I would be hard pressed to not put a bullet in someone for such crimes. I've made
Honestly, if you if you think that way, that is great because I am all in it, okay? I am all in it. But please, guys, please do not go after this guy. I've told many people about this, like don't go and after this guy. The authorities, the FBI has already investigating him as we know right now.
it clear to his TikTok friends threatening me that I'm always armed, and Nova knows this. Bloodspeth then asked Uncle Drew if Nova's TikTok followers had been harassing him, and Drew confirmed, adding that they had also been targeting his sisters, meaning Nova's mom and his aunts. The interview then comes to a halt as Drew says he's in the hospital and is on medication and would rather not say anything else. It seems he was the only person in real life who was truly alarmed by the absolute degeneracy Nova was getting up to, and that's probably why Nova hated him so much. He was the one man unwilling to enable or tolerate his disgusting lifestyle, unlike the people who had joined Nova's Discord servers. A few months later, Uncle Drew was sent the pictures which had leaked of Nova wearing a onesie and sucking on a pacifier.
Bruh. I cannot. I fucking cannot.
In response, he asks whoever sent him this stuff to report it to the local sheriff. I'm 18 months in the hospital, so he knows I can't come slap the crap out of him, so please call an officer.
Bro, if that was my nephew or niece or anybody, I would do the exact same thing. I would definitely slap the crap out of him. Also, I probably would have to get like a tetanus shot for touching him.
Most of this I had no knowledge of, and if my brother were alive, he would have been on top of it and made his life miserable. His mom is a I don't see it so it doesn't happen type.
Of course. Of fucking course. What? See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. No fucking responsibility. His mom does not fucking care what he does. It's honestly just disgusting.
My respect for her is less than zero.
Tell you one thing, and I'm not ashamed to say it. My estimation of Novaonline as a man just fucking plummeted.
She's not answering my calls or messages, so again, she don't see it. A useless parent. She also lives on the internet, so good luck. Personally,
Wow.
I'd give him a good old-fashioned trip out behind the garage and bust his ass until he never wanted to see a computer or iPhone ever.
You know what I would have done as a parent, or what my boyfriend would fucking do? I would get all of his fucking devices and just use a sledgehammer and make him watch. That's what I would do. That is what I would have done.
We tried, but Nova has irresponsible parents undoing everything positive by not backing us up. And now there's nothing I can do to prevent it. I'm the only person that he had a healthy respect for. He learned the hard way when he said I wouldn't do anything right before he hit the floor. And I offered him the ability to get up and challenge me again. If I had my leg and the injuries healed up, I'd show up, let myself in, and pop him in his head and wait for law enforcement. And we would pull up his stuff and view it together and let
Bro, I would have done the exact same thing.
them do what they can. Now, despite Nova's behavior, I do want to say that a personal uncle vigilante moment is not something that I endorse or support in any.
Yes, like what he said, I don't endorse anybody, going after him, because the law enforcement and the FBI has already put investigations on him. So please, what I urge you do not, engage with them, okay?
anyway. I do not think that any physical violence is a good idea in any form whatsoever. If any action should be taken by anyone, it's law enforcement in these scenarios. I doubt that's going to happen either way, but no one should be busting anyone's lips open over this stuff. Regardless, Drew does allege several things here. Nova's father had passed away, and his mom is his primary enabler, actively ignoring and pushing away.
That's right there, right there. As I mentioned before, that the father isn't there because he died, so it's his mother that's taking care of him, and it's enabling the behavior. Now, I know in some statistics they say that with a person that doesn't have a father figure tends to act out without any boundaries and without any authority, an authoritative figure right by their side and lead them to the right path. And I think that's what's happening right here.
Away anyone who will question her son's activities.
And also the mother is showing signs of persistent parenting with with gentle parenting but without the boundaries and the right and the wrong and the you know telling her son about the consequences is probably what's going on here.
Sadly, just 1 month after these messages were sent, Uncle Drew passed away, presumably due to whatever caused him to be in the hospital for 18 months. It's worth noting that in his obituary, it said that he spent his life working in special needs care. To me, this is interesting because when it comes to discussing widely hated internet figures, sometimes people will bring up that they're disabled in some way as if to justify the bad things they've done, or at least excuse them from suffering the consequences of their actions. If I am to believe this obituary, Uncle Drew spent his life working with people who were actually disabled. So at least in theory, he knew the difference between someone who is genuinely special needs and someone like Nova, who takes advantage of everyone's tolerance to do whatever he pleases. Ultimately, all I can say to Uncle Drew is rest in peace. If his account is true and righteous, then if it weren't for him and Nova's dad when he was still alive, who knows how bad things could have gotten before anyone else intervened. Especially given the fact that Nova could have avoided his entire downfall by simply purchasing one of my hats.
This beanie is available only at turkeytom.shop. It's
physiognomy overtook him. It's even more shocking to see that 10 years ago, he was already making the same exact kind of content he still makes today, recording himself on an iPhone opening Pokemon cards. To this day, he still opens random trinkets, toys, water bottles, whatever his fascination of the week is, he opens them on TikTok. Also, another side note, his introduction here is clearly him imitating Jacksepticeye, who Nova was probably watching a lot at that time.
My name is Signana, and finally I can
my ears! He sounds like a damn annoying squeak toy. Oh my god.
real videos to my new LG stylophone. So today I have an amazing video for you
That's
today.
No, he sounds like this. That's what he sounds like.
Merry Christmas to all. So I'm going to be showing you Pokemon figures I got for Christmas.
This is also reflected in his early YouTube content. Based on this, it seems his original intent was to make an honest-to-God gaming channel and have that succeed.
What's going on YouTube? It is the phenomenal non.
Of course he has a fucking Sword Art Online poster on his freaking wall. Of course he does, because he's a freaking degenerate.
91234 coming back at you with an update video today. And first of all, I would just like to say my channel is ultimately dead. But that might all change.
You can criticize Let's Players all you want, but those guys do have to work to make their channels succeed, especially people like Jacksepticeye or Markiplier, who have managed to maintain audiences over the course of the last decade and a half. Nova, meanwhile, gave up on trying before he even had a half-decent microphone. He grew impatient with his lack of success, and ultimately...
Hey, man, I had the same issue, the lack of audience coming into my channel and watching my videos or watching my live streams. Yeah, I get the struggle. I get it. But with time and effort you put into these videos and into these live streams, it would make a big giant difference.
When he finally blew up, for less than stellar reasons, he let the entire thing consume him, rather than trying to make something people actually cared about unironically.
Today, we're gonna break down and finally do it. Guys, we are finishing
our 100 fishing challenge.
It's really weird for me to see these
Bruh.
old videos of Nova as someone who's made a few videos about him already, because you can clearly see that in another timeline, he could have grown up to be a normal person, but something went terribly wrong along the line, and now we're stuck in the bad ending.
Yeah.
Based on Osama's findings, the final crack that sent Nova barreling down the black hole he currently finds himself in took place in 2021, as that's when he began following the teens in diapers topic on Quora. Right around the same time, on Nova's Instagram, he was saying that he had been having mental breakdowns, describing them as pounding headaches. Hold on, you're telling me that Nova is suffering from sudden physical symptoms caused by his mental problems, he has mommy issues, and he's overweight and greasy? This is ringing a bell.
I'm trying to think. Why does this sound so familiar?
It's good to be in something from the ground floor.
One of Nova's posts on Quora was a reply to a thread someone else made. This person was asking if they should be worried that their 17-year-old daughter is age regressing, to which Nova said this: "You should not be worried at all. She might be dealing with mental issues like I have recently."
Okay, so people who don't know what age regression is when somebody who goes into trauma and that they revert back into their child-like state when they were just a child. It could be voluntary, it could be involuntary. It really just depends on the person. But with enough of, therapy, psychotherapy, behavioral therapy, all that could make a big difference. But for some who are like, you know, um, very, very, it sometimes it could be like a like, it could just, helps them retract or reflect with their childhood and, just building up the pieces when they were a child, you know, just to cope with that, with the trauma. But other times they could be stuck in that child-like form, and that's what, sometimes, not always the case, but sometimes it could lead to other fetishes and especially um doing inappropriate things with, you know, children.
I'm also 17, and your daughter might be a part of the Age Re community, which is a community of teens and younger adults who regress voluntarily or involuntarily. There are different stages of regression: infant, toddler, and kid. It seems like your daughter is at stage 1 regression, which is the kid stage. Don't be ashamed if she goes into the toddler stage either. They use
Right, but there's also needs to be a boundary between reality and fantasy. And like I said, they could be stuck in there for all we know. And that's why, therapy, cognitive therapy, like psychotherapy, can also make a huge difference with people who have a traumatic past and has age regression. That can make a big total difference.
sippy cups and pacifiers. I use them as I use them as well if I age regress as well. So at 17 years old, he was already using pacifiers and sippy cups. Parents are usually worried about catching their kids doing drugs or drinking, but imagine if you check your son's bedroom one day and you find binkies and diapers. All of the stuff Nova eventually
Honestly, if that was the case, I would send my kid to the damn therapist, or I'm the therapist because I'm studying to be a psychologist. I would have been like, hey, son.
got in trouble for doing were things that had been brewing for years up until they blew over. And as his
What does that say? What does that say? Big baby something.
on him as a consequence of new information coming out,
Yeah, that's the thing. He posts his business all over TikTok, and that is why people troll him and do all these things because it's freaking weird.
began watermarking all of his videos, not just visually, but also in audio form.
And I think I'm gonna go with the Pepsi Wild Cherry Zero Sugar.
Exclusive property
So
of the
let's
Novaonline
go
universe
ahead
on
and pour
TikTok.
about half of this water bottle into the soda stream.
This was just one of several defensive strategies Nova concocted to prevent people from making fun of him. For example,
Shadow, thank you for the 5.
if you go check his TikTok, you can notice that he records a lot of his videos in an indistinct location outside of his house, or he uses a green screen filter to cut out the background. If you're wondering why this is, it's because of the Horde.
Mihawk with the 25, thank you.
Turkey Tom, what is the Horde?
You don't want
You
to know.
see, the Horde is an eldritch being distributed between Nova's bedroom, living room, and kitchen. It's
Oh my god. Look at the whole... Look! You got, like, Pop-Tarts. Look at this fucking kitchen! You got, like, I don't know, like, cereal and soup and all this junk all over the fucking place.
to know that people will point it out, but not self-aware enough to actually do something like clean it up. Its body is composed of a wide variety of empty frozen pizza boxes, cereal boxes, food packages, trash, actual uneaten food, and it will continue to slowly increase
Bruh. No. That is nasty.
in size until it consumes us all.
You
Oh my
think
god.
God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
Mm-hmm. I totally believe that with a grain of salt. I do.
Specialists speculate that the Horde exhibits similar powers to the fungus from Resident Evil, as it can take over people's minds.
Okay, bro. Okay, it's not that bad. Okay, yes, it is bad.
And make them incapable of self-reflection, so they never develop the capability of cleaning the Horde up. Case in point, Nova, its first victim.
Ew! What the fuck is that? Ew!
After being repeatedly made fun of for living in a hellish hoarder pigsty, instead of doing something about it, he made a video deflecting, saying that his bedroom is actually neat compared to the rest of the house, which he claims is way worse and is full of roaches and maggots. This is one of the funniest things ever said.
Oh my god. I'm so glad. Guys, I hope you guys are not, eating while you're watching this, because I am so glad that I am not eating anything as I'm reacting to this video. Look, read what it says. I thought my room was bad. Some of the rooms in here are way worse. I don't have roaches or maggots in mine, and I can't imagine living with them. What?
On video.
You think my bedroom is gross? You should see the rest of my house.
To me, this really seems like an attempt to pass the buck to his mom, as if she is the one responsible for the house being a complete hellhole and not him. While it's difficult to track the progress of the Horde and the
Look at that. That is disgusting. I know, I've been very good at throwing shit in the kitchen, out in the trash. I've done pretty good. But like, bro, this dude, oh my god. Look at all that. Look at all that. We got like, what is that? What is that? Chat. Chat. Can somebody tell me what that is? Can somebody tell me what that fucking is, because that's just disgusting.
general filth it extrudes all over Nova's living space due to how careful he is when he records videos. Symptoms of it do occasionally appear in the background whenever he slips up. For example, one of the most notable instances of Nova exposing his grimy living room situation is the poop wall, also known as the
what? The what wall? Come again? The poop wall? Are you kidding me?
blood wall. In videos he recorded while lying down on his bed, you can see that the wall behind him has these dark brownish stains.
What? Huh? Wait, where? Where can I see? Where is that? What the actual, what? He's got poop, he's got shit stains all over his freaking wall? Look at that.
While there are many possible origins, scientists in the comment section speculated that these streaks are the result of Nova picking his skin or maybe scratching small.
What the fuck is that? What is that? Ew! What is that? What is that? Why? What is that?
Wounds until he bleeds, and then running his fingers on the wall. Alternatively, people also theorize that those stains come from him killing small bugs due to his house being infested, obviously due to the horde. Others have guessed that it's from his butt. They guess that it's Dookie, okay?
What? No! He's got shit on his fucking pillow!
Due to his house being infested, obviously due to the horde. Others have guessed that it's from his butt.
Oh, gross!
They guess that it's Dookie, okay? That's what they're guessing. Honestly, it could be some combination of all three, but whatever the case may be, there's really no downplaying how extremely nasty this space is. Usually we only see Nova from the chest up, or he's outside. But when you see him in a full body shot inside his bedroom, it's frightening to see how he looks so small.
Why? Look at the background! You can't even see the fucking table! What the fuck?
As he is being completely engulfed in the ancient evil living in
Why,
his home.
chat?
Seriously,
Why?
Nova puts Asmongold to shame. It's almost impressive how he can even live in these conditions and go unbothered by it. To be fair, besides Uncle Drew, Nova has proved himself to be pretty unbothered by pretty much everything. Although he likes to play up how depressed he is to garner sympathy, everything people say about him at this point clearly rolls off his back. Even when people actually cross the line in a serious way, like showing up to his house in real life to insult him, he just yells back at them.
Read the sign! No trespassing! You too, bitch!
You gotta envy how low cortisol this guy is, even in the face of adversity. Literally, nothing can spike his levels. Not even people showing up to his house in real life unprompted. I think he realized that him being harassed IRL attracted people's attention, so at a different time, he tried to act as if there were trespassers on his property, even though no one was there.
If anyone's on my property, get the f off of it!
Gabriel, stop yelling at that, especially like that.
Mom, I don't see you doing anything, so she's right. I mean, he's right. Shut up.
You don't yell like that out the door at this time of night. What about our neighbors?
I have a strict no trespassing policy, you know that.
Ultimately, the only thing he truly cares about is bringing attention to the slop he puts out on TikTok. Which brings me to the next thing I wanted to talk about, his content, if we can even call it that. It's mostly remained the same since he was a preteen. From his karaoke videos.
Are you coming to...
I used to sing this song in my choir, and now it's fucking ruined.
They strung up a man.
Stop! No, shut
To taste testing disgusting looking fast food that he can't be bothered to properly edit, so every other take ends with him reaching his finger to the pause recording button on his phone. Because he's incapable of conceiving of content besides the things he's already been doing for years, he can only introduce variations within his area of expertise. For example, instead of reviewing fast food, he's recently taken to reviewing grocery store snacks and even water.
Waikiki water versus Voss. Two very expensive waters.
How much was the water, by the way? How much is the water?
Going head to head.
The interesting thing about this is that
look at his fucking room. Like, all of that shit
despite
is like
each
stacked
individual
up.
item he buys being relatively inexpensive, he was actually spending a decent amount of money on all of these items. KF user Typhlosion Tuesdays managed to tally up everything he showcased in his videos for the majority of January 2026, which added up to $428. It's not a totally insane amount of money per se, but it is quite a bit to spend on takeout and snacks, especially given that Nova is unemployed and constantly complaining about
Yeah, he's unemployed and he talks shit all over on TikTok, like every single day of his life. Like, how can you live like that,
his
bro?
money problems. As for how he actually pays for all of this crap, it's probably some combination of the
Also, I really want this freaking, like,
money
microphone,
he
I'm not
gets
gonna
from
lie.
TikTok gifts, the occasional cameos that I assume at least some people are crazy enough to pay for, and most likely his mom's money or food stamps. Of course, due to how much he clearly mooches off of
Bro, that's sad that that this dude is using food stamps.
his mom and does nothing productive for society, her,
Nope.
or himself all day. This is one of the go-to critiques of the people who hate watch him, that he should, you know, improve his life and maybe get a job.
What's up, guys? It's me, Chill.
Well, that's the thing. He refuses to get a job, or the people that know him in the Pacific area does not want to, like, hire him, which is understandable.
And welcome to the top 11 ways to scare Nova online.
Oh
Number
my goodness.
11.
And I'm not gonna put up with any more of this!
From
Get a job
late
application.
October to early November 2025, he did briefly have a job at Popeyes, but within 2 days, he had already lost it and claimed that it wasn't his fault. During a stream he did soon after the firing, he gave up some information and context on what happened.
I mentioned that I didn't want to work with minors, and they didn't like that, so they fired me. It's not f***ing funny.
I think
Every
it's
ounce
funny.
of dignity I've had since Friday has now been lost. And maybe we've been left with less than what I had before.
As I mentioned earlier, like, he blames everybody for his misfortune without even thinking that, like, this was his fault. He doesn't take responsibility of his own actions. Instead, he blames it on the people that watch him. That's really sad and pathetic, behavior right there.
Fuck off, I'm not clip farming. If you
Are
don't
you
want me to get
sure?
angrier,
Are you sure you're not clip farming, sir?
stop. And you guys don't want to see me angry. I was so
Ooh, I'm so freaking scared. I'm so
excited
scared.
to finally start working again, and then they came around and spoiled it.
Obviously, people suspected that he wasn't telling the full story here, and eventually he was rage baited into giving up more information on what really happened. It all started when one guy in the chat said, "This guy worked at Popeyes and my sister got him fired," to which Nova responded by saying this.
Oh, it's your sister, huh? Tell her I said piss off. I knew it was one of my trolls that got me fired. Your sister is going to get what she deserves. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna let karma do his work. Knew it! Galaxies aren't gonna fix my mental scars. Thanks for the gifts. I appreciate it, but it won't make me feel better. Someone spread terrible rumors about me and got me fired within 48 hours.
It's not really surprising to anyone that he would blame his trolls for how bad he managed to make his own reputation. You can't be this much of a degenerate for this many years without word going around and locals finding out what kind of person you are. So I don't think he'll be holding a...
Bro, I cannot believe I live in the same universe as this fucking guy. I kid you not. I kid you not. I don't.
job anytime soon. But despite that, I'm sure Nova was perfectly happy to have an excuse to continue being unemployed so that he can spend all day live streaming on TikTok. After he lost his job, he briefly teased, or should I say, threatened, to do something very radical to make some money.
Already applied there, already applied there, already applied there, already applied at the gas station, they didn't want me. I'm tempted to start an OF. I'm desperate.
The fact that he even brought this idea up means he probably already intended to do it, which is not...
Bro, I could easily punch that guy, like, for real. Like,
not that surprising, considering that in the past, he sent some interesting pieces of media to his old Discord server. Even Thwoinky embargo has officially been terminated effective immediately. All of this is besides the fact that he's also on record admitting that he's bought some...
Look at that double chin he's got. Look at that. Look at that turkey flap right there, guys.
intercourse-related paraphernalia.
What is the craziest, like, most out there purchase?
If you don't know what paraphilia is, look it up because I'm not telling you.
You've ever made online? in anything. Literally anything you can buy online. That's the craziest thing you ever bought.
Considering I dabbled in shots video a little bit, probably a couple cages.
And that's that thing you put around your wiener, right? Like conceal.
Pretty much, yeah.
If anything, I'm sad to say that Nova was probably looking forward to putting himself out there like that, so to speak, which is a pretty grim prospect. Fortunately, for the time being, humanity was spared from this atom bomb going off. For the 5 months or so after my last video, Nova continued to publicly decay, although he seems to have become more comfortable going out in public. In June, he went to a pride parade and was pictured with a bunch of people there. A few months later, he was spotted Bigfoot style, lumbering around in a post-apocalyptic
Bigfoot style, bro.
environment, which I can only assume is the natural consequence of the world being terraformed by Nova. Then, suddenly, in late October, right around the time he got and subsequently lost his job at Popeyes, this incident happened.
London for the 5, thank you.
Now,
did he fucking farted on the freaking live stream? Are you? Oh my god, that is so. That is fucking disgusting. Oh my god, I'm so glad that this is just a screen, but I was that fucking close to punching my screen on my laptop. I kid you not. I am that close to punching it in the face.
to the untrained eye, this may seem like Nova just farted on stream without even trying to cover it up. This is where you and I differ.
gross.
I believe that this specific pocket of gas was lodged into some
Ew!
deep crevice of his brain that prevented him from being self-aware. Because in the same live stream this took place,
That is
Nova gained 15 IQ
disgusting,
points
bro.
and made some interesting unforeseen discoveries, sharing his findings as he went.
I have more estrogen than the average male.
Shortly after this alleged fart, Nova made
Look at that fucking face he makes. I wonder this is what he does when he like goons and then he makes that face.
this post.
I'm gonna be 100% real with y'all. My hygiene's a total problem. Sorry if I look a little off, I just got kind of done with crying because I know how big of a problem this is.
Look at that fucking unibrow he does. Like, bro, if you don't fucking like, I don't know, wax that stuff, like wax the fucking like hairs on your freaking eyebrows, please, I beg of you. Why?
Starting today, I'm doing daily shower videos. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna film myself while I have no
Bro, you need a fucking shower ASAP and a fucking glow up.
clothes on in the shower. That is obviously against TikTok's TOS. What I'm going to do is I'm going to update you on how I'm doing on my showers.
Okay, first of all, I do not want to fucking know even when you take a shower or not. I do not care.
And this is the start of a new me. I will actually stick to this time.
It may be the case that my bar is so horribly low from covering lolcows who have bed bugs eating into their brain or walk around for
That
months
is
with a used
disgusting.
fleshlight in their backpack. But to me, this sounds like a major character development for Nova. After months of his continued downward spiral, an ember of hope glimmered in the black void of the Novaonline universe. For the first time in what? Years? He's actually owning up to his absolute incompetence at something basic like hygiene. It is a bit silly that he's only capable of improving his life by constantly recording himself doing each step of it, but hey, improvement is improvement. I'll take it. Over the next couple of months, he actually stuck to it and was frequently showering, even if he occasionally failed to keep up his routine and missed a few days.
I don't know if you can tell, but I've lost my motivation to shower, and I find
Chat, can I be real with y'all? Okay, let me ask you this. Do you, at any point of your day, have the loss or the lack of ability to want to take a shower? Go ahead, don't be shy. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for y'all to type it in the chat because I know the obvious answer is obviously no. Obviously.
comfort in eating. That's why I'm so fat.
Listen, at least he was still trying, and he retained some of his
Like, be honest with me. Ew! What the hell am I looking at? Ew! What is that?
self-awareness during his failure. He eventually toned down the live documentation of himself in the shower due to his mom asking him to stop.
Well, Well, you guys, I am traumatized as of right now. I'm traumatized.
And right around the same time, something else creeped up. Although it wasn't noticeable for the longest time, in December of 2025, Nova made a post announcing that after having started the year at a whopping 280 pounds, he was ending it at 220. A 60-pound weight loss over the course of a year is nothing to scoff at, and it's pretty reasonable and realistic for someone of Nova's size. However, people began doubting that this loss was achieved naturally, since it didn't look like Nova had become particularly careful with what he ate during any part of that year. The videos of him eating slop barreled on like
I wouldn't be surprised, and later in life, he's probably gonna have diabetes or like freaking clogged arteries, like later in life, because that's what I'm hoping for.
nothing had ever happened. So naturally, people concluded in one assumption: Ozempic. Nova tried to dispel these claims by showing himself
Bro, I've tried Ozempic, and I had a bad allergic reaction to it.
getting weighed in at his doctor's office, but this is him acting as if people were just accusing him of pulling a Wings of Redemption and straight up lying about how much he weighed, when that really wasn't the focus of the skepticism. It was that he was using a weight loss drug. Additionally, him being at his doctor's actually reinforces the idea that maybe he did have a health issue, and as a result, he was prescribed something that was helping him shed that weight, all while he still ate goy slop. But ultimately, he was still losing the weight, and fortunately for people who followed to laugh at him, he continued to be as cringeworthy as ever. In the rare cases that these internet punching bags actually do show some sign of improvement, they typically do so while stepping away from the limelight. But in this case, it looks like the best of both worlds. Nova was handling his life better overall, and he was still making content, which is his favorite thing to do. Could this story actually have a good ending? Of course not. It was far too good to be true.
No, it's not a happy ending. How dare you? It was not. It was bad.
True. In late February of 2026, Twitter user Kells_143 made a thread exposing that Nova was tied to yet
Sixth Discord server? Are you kidding me?
another Discord server. Given his reputation with these, there was just no way that this was good news. According to Kells, one of the mods, Defender, was accused by an acquaintance of his of extorting minors into self-harm. Another person, Lucky, is said to be the co-owner of the server, and in a screenshot, he's saying, "When I go to heaven, I'll be greeted by 70 Shodas." If you're mentally well enough to not know what that is, it's basically referring to little boys. If that weren't enough, YouTuber Bloodspeth claimed that the server's rules allowed for no maps to post there. No maps being non-offending minor attracted persons. So essentially predators who haven't acted on their desires yet. Perhaps most concerning of all of this is that besides
Okay, that is very concerning, like, in the most degree, like, people should be watching this, like, just to, like, get this guy, like, please, for the love of God, hashtag get this guy off the internet. Get him away from your kids. This guy is, like, deranged, delusional, and disgusting.
Besides the aforementioned mods, one of the most prominent members of the server is named Alice, described as a chronically online 17-year-old fangirl of Nova's who can be seen saying all sorts of vile and disgusting things in the server, like having Nova change her pad. Additionally, she could be seen in a private voice chat with
I'm sorry, what? What kind of pad are we talking about? Are we talking about like a mouse pad or something else entirely?
him called Alice's pink bedroom, and could be seen saying that she rocked him to sleep. In another set of messages, she can be seen saying that she needs
Guys, how old is Nova, by the way? Is he like 20? Okay.
money so she can go see Nova in real life. While all of these people seem to be pretty unwell in their own right, the biggest takeaway is that it's a sideshow of freaks who want to barnacle onto Nova because that's the only way they'll get talked about online. Don't get me wrong, I'm not defending Nova Online, but it's important to note that all of these things said about the Discord members are allegations, the veracity of which I can't attest to, even if these people seem to be nasty. On top of that, their actual connection to Nova is mostly limited to them being attention attention-seeking enablers of his who are just taking advantage of how irresponsible and socially needy he is. Even then, Nova eventually says that it was a bad idea to open another server and expresses that he wants to shut it down and tells everyone to leave. Knowing him, if he
Look, I get it. Like, I did the exact same thing too. So it's completely, like, you know, relatable and stuff. But at the end of the day, I gotta remember that, you know, my feelings are there and I should probably step back for a moment away from the internet if I'm, you know, feeling the way that I was like back then. But yeah, if you're also feeling like that, like, you know, just step away, you know, go for a walk, drink some water, you know, and just, just relax. I'm like, I get it.
does disassociate from these people, it's only a matter of time before he fires up another server and the cycle continues because
Uh, I, I mean, he has done it before in the past, but luckily Discord has, been either A, banning his ability to make another server, or the trolls or the people that are after him are, just nuking his server, which is a good call in my opinion, because I've heard like a lot of people, telling me and others that are, reporting this, they told me that he has been grooming a lot of, children, and that's not okay. It's not okay.
he just can't help himself. He always comes back.
Bro, yes you can. Like, I hate it when, these, PDF files say I can't help myself to touch, I can't help myself to keep my hands and feet to myself. And it's like, yes, you fucking can. It's called restraint, or if you can't handle that, then you better go to the hospital or go to jail.
And the sad, disturbing part of it is, he comes back because he needs people who will engage with him in his roleplay. Usually, I reserve disclaimers for topics that involve death, but honestly, this next thing is so bizarre that I think it merits some degree of warning. So,
Yes, viewer discretion is advised, because we are going into the dark topics of Novaonline. So if you please, you can either, leave and then come back. Okay, so hopefully, like, I don't want anybody to get, triggered by this. So fair warning.
discretion is advised. We are about to get into what has been coined the Nova Files.
Oh my God, I've heard about that, and I've seen like a lot of bad things. So be warned.
In the middle of February 2026, Nova detractors Chin Universe, Solidus Nova, Bloodspeth, and Purity Sin all came together to post a video that was allegedly taken by a 14-year-old girl, with whom Nova was on a video call role-playing as a baby. The voice you'll hear in the video that's not Nova is actually a voiceover by Purity Sin, as the person who recorded the video didn't want their identity attached to it in any way. In it, Nova can be seen pretending to be a toddler and hugging stuffed animals.
I have a question.
Yeah?
How much are diapers on Little for Big?
Depends on which ones you buy.
Are they comfy?
Nova says he wishes he could be wearing wet diapers every day, but that it would be too expensive as he would have to continually buy them, which he can't afford. The concept of a guy doing this with a 14-year-old girl truly feels like something you would only find on the dark web.
You do really cute, ooh-woo. Ooh-woo?
Stop.
Ooh-woo?
This was just the
stop it. I don't want to hear that, please.
first of 5 episodes of the Nova Files. In the second one, which is also a video call between Nova and this girl, he actually takes his phone and points it at his crotch while wearing diapers to show it off, all while this girl is referring to him as baby girl. As disturbing as this stuff is, there's very little to extract from it as far as information, as most of the uploads are basically repeats of the first one. Strangely enough though, there is one exception exception. The end of episode 4 of The Files, during which the girl Nova is talking to fakes a seizure, and Nova just stares for minutes straight. Listen, you can have a mental breakdown, a seizure, or a heart attack all you want. When the baby is in his diaper, you sit your white ass down and you listen. But this was just the beginning of Nova's ultimate humiliation. Around February of 2026, Nova could be heard complaining about being catfished.
I'm not in a good mood because I got catfished. No, I'm not okay. I haven't been okay for a long time. I've just been hiding it.
As far as I can tell, he never elaborated with the specifics of who catfished him or anything else about it, really. But due to the kind of degenerates that were in that Discord server with him, many people began to speculate that Nova had fallen into some kind of blackmail trap where he was under threat of having his nudes posted. These suspicions only grew as Nova made an ominous post to his YouTube channel. "If this is my last post, I am dead. Expect that if I don't respond within 24 hours. A few people who saw this were actually worried about Nova. A lot of others weren't too concerned given the fact that he's been threatening to do something like this for years. But after a few weeks of no significant developments, something finally happened. But honestly, I really wish it hadn't. People found out that Nova had an account on an adult video website where he had posted a short video of him stimulating himself with a device.
Okay. I did not expect that, but I should have expected, but like that is disgusting.
I'm gonna refrain going into more detail because I don't want to promote
Spot
this
with
account, but the
25,
name of it
thank
was
you.
a direct reference to Nova's usual online handle, and he could be heard commenting on what was happening throughout the entire thing. And apparently his room, and consequently the horde, was also visible in the video, visible enough to be recognizable as him. I'm saying apparently because I didn't actually watch this video. I'm never going to look at this video, and neither should you. What I can tell you is that the description of the video said he was taking a break from watching South Park, and his account's bio lists his relationship status as taken. As this stuff became public knowledge, the first assumption was that Nova was
Taken. I feel like that's the lie for himself to like fragment, like just like in an imaginary girlfriend, and a relation status is taken. That's just sad.
either hacked or he was blackmailed into posting this video. However, instead of even suggesting anything to that effect, Nova stayed radio silent on all ends except on his Telegram, where he didn't address the video directly, but instead addressed what he says are its consequences. Mom just got sent to the ER. She has too much stress. It was the trolls. One of my detractors, Purity, has accounts on adult websites too, but of course nobody mentions that. I strongly doubt that any troll activity is responsible for Nova's mom's health. And I find it much more likely that this is him blaming something unrelated on the trolls to try and guilt trip people into not making fun of him. Obviously, this wasn't very effective, as people noticed he had been desperately deleting comments from his TikTok referencing the video in any way. Soon enough, the video had already been taken down for a violation of the terms and conditions, which probably means it was mass reported. When you take his Telegram messages into consideration, it leads me to think that this was actually done of Nova's own volition. For a long
I wonder if like he still has like the Telegram and stuff. I've never owned, a Telegram, but I'll look into it, for shits and giggles, I guess, just to investigate.
Time now, he's been making offhand mentions of how he's financially desperate or how he may need to do an OnlyFans. But the thing is, he's never actually been super strapped for cash. Sure, he complains about not having money, but somehow he always has a bunch of TikTok shop trash showing up at his house, fast food. I mean, even his pacifiers and his diapers, the money has to come from somewhere.
I've been asking that question for the longest freaking time. And that is, how is he getting this money? No, think about it. How is he getting this money? Like, I really want to know how he got the money. Chat, come on, help me out. How did he get the money? Okay, that makes sense.
On his TikTok, he made a very vague post, where in the description of a video where he lumbers into the frame before lazily making anime poses, he wrote this: "You know who you are," not naming names for their safety, but I'm thoroughly pissed at them for what they did. The upload following
What? What? For calling you out for doing inappropriate things that is illegal?
This one was apparently an old draft that he had recorded sometime prior, so it had nothing to do with the unfolding drama. Following that was a cringy video where he lip syncs to an audio talking about revenge.
Truth will ultimately prevail. But
I feel so threatened. Guys, do y'all feel threatened by this? Because, like, I honestly don't, like, I can't take this guy seriously at all, period.
And in the comments, when asked about what happened, he said, "Ultimate betrayal by a former friend." After this, however, it doesn't seem like he made any further comments on the situation. As humiliating as these videos of him that came out during this time were, they were just that. Humiliating. As disgusting as his interests may be, he clearly isn't concerned enough to actually try and keep them out of the public's eye. It's clear to me that he revels in the attention he gets, or at the very least, he's addicted to it and prefers having it to nobody noticing him at all. Ultimately, as much as he feigns shame and being upset over this entire situation, him being exposed and attacked is also a part of the Novaonline phenomenon, which is why he continues to make silly TikTok videos about revenge. But the Nova files don't actually end here. After the last episode was posted, Bloodspeth uploaded a 3-hour interview with someone who was Nova's friend. Unlike all of the other people who knew him in real life, this wasn't just a superficial acquaintance. This was the closest thing Nova had to an actual friend, as opposed to someone he met on Discord that enabled his degenerate activity. In the interview he gave to Bloodspeth, this guy begins by explaining that he didn't start talking to Nova with the intention of turning around and telling everyone about it, or just to troll him. The two had a genuine friendly relationship that lasted for about 8 months, during which this guy and the rest of his friend group put in a legitimate effort to help Nova lose weight, make some money, clean himself up, and walk away from his lolcow career. I hope I'm not spoiling it for you when I say that they failed their mission. When asked if Nova actually had the mind of a teenager or suffered from stunted development, the answer he gave was that although Nova was more self-aware than many assumed, he just didn't act on his self-awareness. Even if Nova had an easy time pinpointing the things he did that were bad, he basically couldn't do anything effective to stop himself from engaging in that behavior. But ultimately, Nova's friend couldn't tell if this was because of some cognitive limitation or manipulative malice, because he could also be feigning self-awareness just to please people so that he can go right back to doing what he wants to do, which Nova also seemed to have a tendency to do. In this interview, Nova is basically described as mostly staying quiet and actually agreeing whenever someone pointed out an issue of his, basically just waiting for them to stop talking without engaging meaningfully with what they were saying. One of the issues they butted heads over a lot was his hygiene.
Was it really that bad?
Yeah, and I'm a big honesty guy. I don't like exaggeration just because I think it takes away from, like, you know, people who are actually just trying to understand, you know, something or someone. So I'm not exaggerating when I say you can smell him from like 5 feet away. It's not.
That is just disgusting. Which we will look into Bloodspeth's videos here in a little bit. Before I play the video, make sure to like and subscribe, okay? And make a lot of likes and stuff. I don't care.
Not exactly cat pee, but it's like like half cat pee, half ammonia, but like both of them cranked up, so it doesn't really smell like either. It's like its own thing, kind of. I had been hounding him on his hygiene for like, I mean, basically our whole relationship, but I was really hounding on it for a couple weeks prior to that, the shower saga starting. And that was due to the fact that we started like, I think it was just we hung out with him like 2 or 3 times within like a month. I ended up calling him and like right when I woke up, and he picked up and we talked for like an hour. And I was like, I basically just said like, dude, everyone in the comments of this video is saying like you're gross, like you're greasy, like your house is a mess. And I'm like, can you say any of those comments are even wrong? I understand you read them and you don't like them. You need to actually internalize like, why are they saying these things? And then like look at yourself and your surroundings, and you'll probably come to the conclusion like, oh, all these people are right.
By the end of their call, Nova was crying while his friend offered him what I can only describe as shower incentives. This guy actually proposed buying Nova a Bluetooth speaker just so he would shower. And of course, that's when Nova's ears perked up. Only the possibility of getting more trinkets to add to the hoard can motivate Nova to actually do the bare minimum self-maintenance of a regular human being. Eventually, their conversation came around to these serious allegations about grooming and talking to minors,
which we'll look at the videos here in a little bit, by the way.
Which have been circling Nova's name for years.
You have figured out by now whether he has a vulnerability, and vulnerability.
But yeah, like, that's really embarrassing that you have your friend to like convince you by bargaining like a speaker or music to just for you to take a shower. That is just unbelievable.
A lot of different things. Maybe he just really, really loves his kids.
According to
Ew.
Gabriel's friend, he was perfectly capable of pointing out how and why what he did was wrong, but only when imagining someone else, like his detractors, doing it. Despite understanding that those actions have consequences and whoever does them should be held accountable, he maintained that he only engaged in those things to make friends, and now regretted all of that behavior and wasn't ever going to do it again. Of course, even though his friend couldn't have known it at the time, Nova was straight up lying. Lying is actually something he did a lot, but never in a Machiavellian way or to try and make himself look better. More so, he lied to get out of things, to excuse himself from his responsibilities. The example given of Nova's most consistent lying is whenever he was asked about why he hadn't showered or cleaned his environment up, he would just say that he was busy.
My theory is he's often embarrassed by his lack of activity, so it was very common for him to say like, oh, I've been really busy cleaning.
It didn't matter if he hadn't showered or cleaned up after himself for days or even weeks, he would boldly claim that he was busy, despite being unemployed and
Also, it's not really healthy, you know, to not take a shower, which we'll dive into it here in a
staying
second.
indoors all day, doing nothing but streaming on TikTok. When I say nothing, I truly mean nothing, because even small things that are certain to bring him money, like recording cameos, Nova neglects to do.
What is good, y'all? My name is Nova Gage, and I am a TikTok creator. On TikTok, I primarily post food reviews, gym videos, and a whole bunch of other various content.
According to this friend, Nova always had a huge backlog of cameo requests that he just let stack up and expire, as he would rather fire up another TikTok stream to cry about being unemployed and having no money than to just record a 30-second video and actually make some. Ultimately, what this shows us is that money isn't
Ew, what the hell? Like, gross. Hang on.
record a 30-second video and actually make some. Ultimately, what this shows us is that
Look at that fupa. Look at that fupa. The big jiggly willy belly flippity floppity jiggly jiggly greasy belly. Look at that.
money isn't something that even matters to Nova. What matters is attention. He would rather have no money and have people feel bad for him than have some money and have no one care. Lastly, Nova's friend claimed that Nova was likely diabetic and didn't control his sugar intake, which makes it almost certain that he was on some kind of Ozempic.
Well, that would make sense. See, I told you this guy has some sort of diabetes at some point, and I was correct.
Variant which was causing his weight loss, further cementing that despite his appearance having changed, he was internally still the exact same person. No matter how many trials and tribulations he's been through, Nova seems completely uninterested in changing, despite the fact he's proven himself capable of doing so.
I am capable of changing. All these dishes I just did.
Albeit temporarily.
The guy that tried to do a house cleaning saga, but kind of failed.
Alright, since it's the end of the video, I want to look up something. And, you know, I was thinking, like, how long, like, what are the, like, unhealthy benefits of not taking a shower? Let's look it up. Unhealthy ways of not taking a shower or something. Like, okay. So, see, look at this. Skipping showers too often can lead to bacterial overgrowth, fungal infections like athlete's foot or jock itch, severe body odor, clogged pores with that causes acne. Additionally, falling to wash off environmental allergens and irritants can trigger contacts of dermatitis and worsen the existing skin conditions. So, fungal and bacterial infections, sweat, dead skin create breeding grounds of microorganisms, irregular washing, increasingly. Okay, that's nasty. I don't want to see this again. So yeah, those are the things that are happening right now with Nova. That he doesn't take a shower, and he's also a PDF. So right now we're gonna go take a break as of right now. So let's take a break. All right. Are we good? All right. All right. Welcome back. From break. Today we're gonna be looking at Nova Online to report like some stuff. So let's go into like blood spats.
My front door, stuff like that. This is the full interview with one of Nova's neighbors. Yeah. So, yeah, whenever you're ready, we can begin.
All right. So first impressions of Nova. When we moved into the house, I did not know who lived next door. Basically, when I moved in, I saw him for the first time, and I was kind of questioning of who he was, and like basically he was just acting weird when I first met him. To be honest, like I just didn't know who he was. He was sometimes coming out of the house and yelling at his dog and just being very loud and obnoxious. And I kind of just put up with it.
Bro, just imagine just being like, you know, part of his neighbors. Like that's just crazy. I wouldn't like would not have enough patience to live with somebody like that at all if they're like gonna make some racket.
For the first bit, and after that, I saw on TikTok his face, and I was like, "Wait a second, that is my neighbor."
Oh my God.
At work, I asked people if they knew this person because I saw he had a high following account. So some of my coworkers already previously knew him, and then they couldn't believe that he was actually my neighbor, and that's kind of how it all started. Was him just being loud and obnoxious, me seeing his face, and then he was filming out on his front lawn as well. So I happened to just find him on TikTok in my For You page, and that's kind of just how it all began.
I see. I see. And if you don't mind me asking, what's kind of like the approximate time you moved in, like a few months ago?
It was in October, last October.
Through your time, as his neighbor, have you ever seen? Do you know what a swatting is?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Has that ever happened to Nova, as far as you've lived there?
As far as I've lived there, no. But a neighbor across the street told me that it happened last January. So I moved in October. That previous January, he got swatted on. So after she told me that information, I looked it up on TikTok and saw some information about his SWAT, and that's the most I've seen. But I didn't know he even existed until I moved into this location.
Okay, I understand. And what's it like being this guy's neighbor? What are the kind of experiences you have with him?
So I've had very small, minimal talks with him. I've actually only been friendly with him because I trying to keep my I don't know what he's like, and his anger that I've seen, I don't want him to endanger my family. So I don't want to. I'm not trying to provoke him at all because I don't know what he'll do, to be honest. So I've seen his temper tantrums. It's woken me up in the middle of the night.
That's
I
crazy.
don't really not trying to provoke the guy. So the most I can do is watch, and then if he comes onto my property, I try and record it, because if he's trying to catch his dog from running away or accidentally ordering groceries to my front door, stuff like that. And door dashes will occasionally come to my place.
That is just sad, bro. Like, just imagine you're being the fucking neighbors, and all you see is like door dashes and stuff, and him screaming at the top of his lungs, and he can't even properly sleep. That is just horrible to live. And I would definitely like move out or send a complaint.
And then I've also had impounding officials come in and try and remove certain vehicles from his property.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you said you've had a few minimal talks with him. Is that like the extent of your direct contact with him?
Yeah. So I've had multiple talks about his dog with him, because his dog tried biting my ankles one time when I was working on our fence. And I talked. He's apologized for a dog coming over trying to bite me and being aggressive and stuff, but it's just a Chihuahua, so it doesn't really scare me. But
Never underestimate these little chihuahuas. They are freaking mean.
other than that, though, when we first moved in, and I was cooking barbecue out in the backyard or just out there with my family,
Mm-hmm.
he would try and talk over the fence to me, and I would just keep it short. The most that I remember talking to him about was he locked himself out of his house, and he was trying to figure out how to get back in, and he ended up crawling through his window.
I remember
And
that. Mm-hmm.
yeah, he basically opened the window and then started just shoveling out DoorDash meals to make an entry for himself. And the whole time he basically apologizing that we had to witness that, and he's like, "Don't you hate that? Don't you hate when you lock yourself out of your house?" I'm like, "Yep, totally get it." Like, but the biggest thing is the cameras too. Like my backyard camera, I've tried to hit privacy modes on it so it doesn't register all the DoorDash drivers that he gets.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times when he has tantrums, he triggers my camera and it just automatically records. So
wow. Okay, and you mentioned that previously as well, saying it wakes you up in the middle of the night. Can you kind of elaborate on that?
So his dog likes to run away a lot. This is the most
If I
that
was
he
his dog,
basically
I would
wakes
run
us up.
away too.
He will scream for his dog's name. He
Bruh.
won't come down the porch unless he has to.
Bruh, in the middle of the night? That is insane. Like, just honestly, I feel really bad for, like, the neighbors that have to deal with this shenanigans. Like, this is, like, unacceptable behavior right there.
Mm-hmm.
So his dog will run down the porch and run off in the front lawn or go across the street, come into my lawn, whatever. And he'll, instead of going down and getting his dog, he's basically just yelling at the top of his lungs, screaming for his dog named Mouse. So he's screaming Mouse, 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 like over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing that in the middle of the night is not fun because it wakes my family up.
Yeah,
but
sorry to hear that.
And then whenever his aunt likes to come over and basically make him clean and basically helps him out, give him groceries. It seems like she's actually a nice lady and she wants to kick Gabriel out, but she can't because it's not her son. It's just her sister's son. So, basically, whenever she comes over, though, there's either a big tantrum fight from Nova, and he throws a fit, and his aunt basically doesn't put up with his bullshit and puts him back in his place.
Shit, I wouldn't either.
So,
I see that.
and then there was a night a couple weeks ago. We were dead asleep. It was like 2:00 in the morning, and it seemed like he was drunk, and he was like singing or being super loud at night, making these weird noises. And by the time I got up to wonder what was going on, he went back inside already. But very brief moments, he comes out and then goes back into his house.
Okay. And kind of segues into my next question. Is he outside often, or is it only when he like has to bring in a DoorDash order, or is, like you said, his dog escapes or things like that?
Yeah, so it's either the dogs. He's outside quite a bit, but after I kind of started putting some information out there, he hasn't came out of the house at all. He's like as of today, I haven't seen him once or heard him once, so he just has been in there the whole time. But typically he's out. Yeah, it's pretty well, not really. To me, it seems like he sleeps or stays up all night, and then he sleeps till like midday. And so like normally he's coming out of the house around afternoon type time frame, but other than that though, he's normally outside quite a bit making content. Like I've caught him multiple times making WWE videos with his speaker on as loud as it can be in the neighborhood, and he's just walking. Yeah.
God.
So, and I was doing yard work last week, and I was weed whacking, and he was making a video outside testing his microphone. So,
yeah, I saw the video of him.
He's normally outside making videos, and he's in the backyard a lot in the summertime. making videos back there as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. And with the disrupting everyone, the speakers on max and yelling out, I assume the other neighbors know of him at least, not exactly about his online presence, but his presence in the neighborhood. Do you know
Yeah,
what their
so
thoughts are and stuff like that?
yeah, so I'm one of the youngest people on the blocks.
Mhm.
I would say that most of my neighbors are pretty older, or they're a lot older than I am, so they don't intend to be on the internet, I don't think. They know of him. I know the neighbor across his house has reported to the city hall multiple times about mice and just trash in his front lawn and not cutting his front lawn. And the neighbor
Unacceptable
next to him,
behavior
that's
right there.
not next to me, obviously, but his other neighbor, he has mowed Nova's house a couple times just to make his house look decent because it'll get knee high, and Nova won't do anything about it. So
Okay.
basically, if no one chips in as charity in the neighborhood, someone will mow the lawn just so the neighborhood looks a little bit nicer.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, all the neighbors I've talked to know about him, and they've known he's been an issue for a while, and I think they're just counting down the days until law enforcement finally takes him away.
Of course. And how much does his house stick out? Because from what I've seen, it's like covered in garbage.
Yeah, so it's definitely the worst one on the block by far.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to not be that way. According to my other neighbor, they said that about 10 years ago, they moved in, and the guy that had the house fixed it up and made it look nice. And it was actually a decent house until they moved in. And he was upset when he sold the house because they just completely trashed it.
Okay.
So someone pranked him with all these USPS boxes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure you've seen them.
Yes, yeah.
But they are a big nuisance, according to both my neighbors across the street and the one to the other side of me, because they're afraid that in the wintertime, if they stay there, it will attract mice. And it's already been a known issue with mice in his household. The previous winter, before I got here, I had reports tell me that mice are bad in this house because of his house. Basically, they were coming from Nova's house trying to get into this house. So I had to do some stuff around the house, basically seal everything up because I was afraid this winter I was going to get mice from his house. And
Oh my
the neighbor
God.
across the street has seen mice
It's
coming from his
horrible.
house just in the blatant winter times. So she said she's gone to the city twice now because of his house being trash, or mice was a big one as well.
Yeah, and like with that, do you have like any idea why his house hasn't been condemned yet? Because there's no way those living conditions are legal.
That's
So
awful.
I think there is a social worker that comes by every now and then, so I've heard, but I personally have not seen it. I completely agree with you. It's unacceptable, and there's no one over here to basically say, hey, these living conditions are unsafe. I mean, the fire department's been inside there. They didn't say anything. They just wore masks
Jesus.
and deal with it, I think. But until they get super sick or someone reports it, I don't think anyone will really investigate into it,
Mm-hmm. I
Bruh.
see. And with the fire department, I think you mentioned they've come, what, 4 times in the past 2 weeks? Is that
Yeah.
every time? You said it was every time his mother needs to get up the ramp?
Yeah, so his mom in late March, according to Nova, when he was talking about it to the agent outside, he said that she OD'd or got hurt on weed, apparently, from what Nova was saying.
How the fuck do you like that sounds really suspicious. How in the world do you like overdose weed? I really want to hear y'all's thoughts on this. I really want to hear what y'all gotta say because I don't think you can do that. Can you? Because I don't know.
I don't know how entirely true that statement was from Nova, but she was put in rehab at Iron Horse Rehab in Coeur d'Alene for 30 days. You said what?
When was that?
It was late March.
Late March. Right.
And then and then his mom just came back a couple weeks ago. So she was there for around 30 days and then got released. And when she was released back to the house, I even that same day I actually asked Nova when he was trying to talk to me outside when I was doing yard work. I asked him when his mom was coming home, and he said it was she was coming home today, and I was surprised because there wasn't a ramp, there wasn't nothing until the very last minute until she arrived. And when she got home, he tried to push her up the ramp one time, and she fell, and she basically was lying on the gravel for about 30 minutes until the fire department came to
He didn't help her
pick her up. He tried and he couldn't help her. And his aunt couldn't help her. The aunt was there as well. That was the first time. The aunt and Nova were trying to get her up, couldn't get her up. So they called the fire department. Fire department came by, picked her up, and put her in the house. And after that, they haven't even tried to push her up the ramp anymore. They just, when they get home from one of her doctor appointments, I'm assuming, they just leave her out in the driveway until the fire
Wow.
department comes to
He just left his mom, like his mom that gave birth to him, like left her out of the house. That not only that's he's only not only he's a PDF but he's also like an adult abuser. He abuses animals and he screams and yells and just bothers the neighborhood. He is a menace. I told you this before, ladies and gentlemen. He is a menace.
basically put her in the house.
So every single time they don't bother trying to push her up, they just call the fire department.
Correct.
My goodness. And
this last time he said, "No, you're good." This last time Nova told the fire department that they were getting a ramp this next week to help better the situation, but I'm afraid the ramp, whatever ramp he's talking about, either won't fit or he's still not going to be able to push her up.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. And how often does she go out? Do they go out?
As far as ever since she got back from rehab, I haven't seen her drive a vehicle or do anything. The aunt took away her vehicle.
Oh.
So it seems to me like the aunt. I'm assuming it's the aunt. It sounds like it's the aunt. Seems like she's the only responsible one out of the two of them. So the aunt drives their car and basically doesn't give it to them because I don't think she's supposed to be driving, so she doesn't want her to try and drive, I'm assuming. But Nova can't drive either. I think he doesn't have a license, I don't believe. So.
No, he doesn't. So it's always what you assume to be his aunt driving?
Yeah. So the aunt will come by every Friday afternoon, and I'm talking about every Friday. They go out somewhere. She takes Nova out somewhere out in the wilderness to
That is just
either Dave and
wow.
Buster's or wherever he wants to go, and that's like his one time a week he gets to go out on his own.
I see. Okay, interesting.
I have no words to describe what I'm hearing, but yeah, that is just crazy. Like,
Interesting.
And yeah, if he has anything else, he'll Uber. But the one day he got the Uber driver to help push his mom into the car, and that was just I thought she was gonna fall. It was bad.
My goodness.
oh my God.
Something that he used to do a lot is walk. He used to walk everywhere. Have you seen him walk much?
So the farthest I've seen him walk is to my mailbox and turn around and go back, and that's it.
Why would he
So
walk
that's
to
probably 60 feet.
Yeah. Okay.
So he doesn't go that far.
What would it was it to like retrieve his mail? Did it get sent to you?
No, he was doing a TikTok.
Ah, makes sense.
Yeah, he was like walking and doing a TikTok, and then after he was done, he turned back around, and then was like editing or whatever.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna head on, um, just to go away. Thank you so much for watching the video with me. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. All right, peace.